All right, next question says, my next competition date is on June 19th. I'll get your training updated for that new date. It also says, it will be a bit disjointed as I'm going overseas for a work conference from April 27th to May 11th, and I'm unlikely to get to a gym with powerlifting equipment. So I should be able to get to my priority 1 and 2 sessions in the days before I go, and then I'm wondering if I should pick up with my priority 3 and 4 days on the half week when I return. That's not exactly how I would run it. So your travel dates are from April 27th to May 11th. So that's a span of about 2 weeks or so. What I would say is try to get your priority 1 and 2 in before you go. But then in the half week that you get back, do your priority 1 and 2s for that week as well. If you're going to skip anything, which you will have to skip some stuff, try to skip your priority 3 and 4 work. Now, a word about training while you're gone. If you are able to make it to some kind of a gym, even if they don't have powerlifting equipment, that would be much, much better than not doing anything. If they have a leg press machine, that's going to be better than just not training legs at all for the 2 weeks while you're gone. Because when you get back, you're going to be a lot sore and probably more than a little bit detrained if you take 2 weeks completely off. And at that time, if you return on May 11th and your competition is just over a month away, that's not the ideal scenario. Now, if you do something while you're gone, try to do as close to the program as you can. Obviously favor your priority 1s and 2s if you can. But if you can't, even hitting some of the priority 3s and 4s is going to be better than not doing anything. And like I said, keeping your volume up, trying to maintain some muscle mass, that's going to be a really, really good thing. Let me tell you a quick story. I talk quite a bit about how I went to the World Games in 2009 and I won that competition. And that was really been the highlight of my powerlifting career. At the time, I was a missileer. I was a launch control officer for some missiles, and the way that we did our work scheduling required me to go into the field for about a week, and this was like 2 weeks out from the meet, like a week before I traveled. So I was in the field for a week and then I left for this competition. That's a very critical week of training, and normally would be my heaviest week going into the competition. However, that was not really possible at this meet. So I was going to be in the field. I knew that they had some limited equipment, but the facility I was going to get to had like a Smith machine and a bench, and that was it. There was no way that I could do anything other than just those things. So what I did, I actually brought a couple 100-pound plates with me because I thought that would be useful, and it was. But I went out there. I trained in the Smith machine. I did squats. I did benches. As much as I could, and it's very limited. But I did some overload stuff just so I could feel heavy weights. I can't remember what I did for my deadlift, but I did what I could. And I came back. I wasn't terribly sore. I wasn't detrained. I was able to hit a couple quick lifts before I traveled, just to keep the groove fresh. I did a little bit more after I got there, and I went to the competition, had a fantastic meet. So I would advise that you do something not terribly dissimilar. It's just a matter of taking what's there and trying to maintain your momentum.